And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Reverend Don Lewis.
Hello,
And
hello.
thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. And we are going to do 3 card, more or less, tarot draws for you as you post your questions in chat.
Yes, indeed.
So, if you have any questions for us, please go ahead and post them. And just as a general rule, we cannot predict the outcome of the upcoming election. So don't
Or at
ask.
least we won't.
Or, yeah, we're not going to, so don't ask that one. So,
Let's
yeah,
not all speak at once.
yes, I will say we're enjoying a oddly pleasant bit of August weather here in Tennessee.
Here in Illinois as well, it's been very, very nice. It's been suggested to me it's going to be hot again next week, but then after that it will actually cool down into autumn, which is very welcome.
Oh, I agree.
And I see not the slightest little sagebrush rolling across the chat room. But I don't know if that means no one's here and they're all off watching the convention, or
And
if
that
nobody's
is
ready to speak yet.
a possibility.
It is. I was originally going to do my magic and metaphysical auction this evening, but then we realized it was going to be at a particularly important point in the convention. And and there's Magical Mermaid. Hi, Magical Mermaid.
Hello, Magical Mermaid. Thank you for joining us.
But my auction would have been running directly against the candidate's acceptance speech, so that didn't seem like a good idea.
It really didn't. I will say the grandkids loved their presents that I got for them
Good.
from the last auction. So,
Yay. I'm glad. The next one is going to have some artwork in it.
wonderful.
So we'll see how that all comes together.
And there's Ed, and he's watching a split screen. Well, thank you
Okay.
for prioritizing us, Ed.
Yes, indeed.
How do we feel about the Lenormand cards? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
I'll go first. I think they're a very interesting historical system.
I
Oh, go ahead.
I have a friend who is a incredible practitioner with the Lenormand system. He's given me a set of Lenormand cards and he's written about them, and I have tried to work with them and they just don't seem to gel for me.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime Greg has read for me with his Lenormand cards, he has been absolutely spot on. So for people who work with them, I think they are a great system.
Well, that's how it is. What works for one person doesn't always work for another. That's why it's so good to have so many choices. And Mademoiselle Lenormand was supposedly, at least, the psychic reader to Napoleon Bonaparte. And whether that's true or good PR, I don't know. But her works are at this point, what, 200 years old, more or
Right.
less? When I was young, I don't remember the Lenormand cards, cards when I was young, but we did have her Book of Dream Interpretation. And I remember that book from my childhood. And it's part of how I was taught that these symbols that you might use are very personal, because a lot of the symbols in that book would have had no meaning for me or for members of my family, but they might have for people at that time and in that place. Um, and, you know, if you go back 200 years and to a specific area like France, people did have a lot more shared symbolism than modern people do. So whenever I talk to people about dream interpretation, I always say, what does it mean to you? Because I recognize that there are unlikely to be a lot of universal symbols for people. And even some that might seem like they should be can have very different meaning for different people. But no, I find those very interesting. I find the lady's life very interesting. And, you know, there are other old systems of cards that today we might call oracle cards that are interesting. When I was 12, maybe, I remember getting my first deck of, if you'll pardon the expression, Gypsy Witch cards, which are an older European system. And they're quite interesting in their way also. They have a completely different set of symbolism, and they have the meanings written on every card, just to make it a little easier. But I remember thinking it was quite interesting, both the system and where I got it, which was in the gift shop of what I think, if I remember correctly, was a Roman Catholic hospital.
Wow.
Now, when I was 12 years old was a long time ago, so it may have been some other hospital, but I think I probably run by the Franciscan Sisters. I'm not certain. I can't remember when all the local hospitals changed, because none of them are what they were. But yeah, that's where I found it. And I couldn't even tell you now why I was at the hospital, but I was visiting someone and happened to go down to the gift shop. And Magical Mermaid says, thank you. I appreciate the answers. Thank you, Magical Mermaid.
You're very welcome.
Feel free to swat away the rolling dust balls as they come through the chat room. And Magical Mermaid says that I think many Romani people embrace the Catholic faith, particularly in the past. And one of the interesting things about the Romani people is they do tend, as a rule, to at least, by and large, practice whatever the prominent religion in their area is, which isn't to say they don't also maintain their own traditions, but they have various different affiliations depending on where in the world that they have settled. Of course, originally they're from India. And oh, and hello to Lynn. And Lynn would like to get a general reading.
Hi, Lynn. We'll be happy to do a general reading for you.
I believe you're still shuffling, so I will go ahead and get started.
Alrighty.
The first card I have drawn is the Princess of Swords. The Princess of Swords is all about communication. And she says to be very careful in your communications and how you present yourself and how you interact with people. And think about what is being exchanged and make sure that you say what needs to be said. And also that you avoid saying what perhaps ought not to be said. So use sense and thought in your communications. With it is the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is waiting for a situation to change. So I think that you're probably in a place where you're wanting that change to come in. You're waiting for the change, and it's not there yet, but it's coming. So be patient and again, careful with your communication, and it's followed by the Ace of Lamps. The Ace of Lamps says this is a very spiritual time for you, and everything that's happening here has spiritual lessons for you. Pay attention to them and learn what they have for you. The situation will change soon enough. You'll get the changes that you're looking for soon enough. In the meantime, a little self-examination, a little consideration of everything that's happening will be beneficial for you. Looking at learning the lessons that are involved will be beneficial. And again, careful communication. And there you go.
Okay, so the first card I've got for you is the Three of Pentacles. And this card means being recognized for the work you do and your skill. I've got the Two of Cups, and this is talking about a relationship or a friendship, some kind of partnership, but more emotional with this cup, with the cups involved. And finally, I've got the Queen of Lamps. Lamps are talking about our spirituality. And with the Queen of Lamps, it's talking about, in this situation, working within what you have already. So don't look for new resources right now, but use the resources you already have. So I hope that's helpful, Lynn.
Yay, one question.
One question. All righty. Anybody else got a question for us? Well, I had mentioned last week that I was going to be working a festival Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It was boiling hot out there. Even though we took the portable air conditioner, my generator wouldn't support it. And I didn't sell any readings, but my granddaughter Serena sold 12 pet rocks she painted.
Okay.
Which, as you and I had discussed, we thought she might sell more rocks than I would sell readings.
Yep.
So
we
do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And Marianne says, I feel like I'm over my head with study. Could I please get guidance? All righty. Off the top of my head, I would say break it down into pieces.
And I have an escapee.
Oh, those escapees.
I believe it's your turn to go first this time.
It is. So the first card I've got is the Seven of Swords, which indicates how you're feeling right now. You feel like you're fighting kind of an uphill battle, but this card also shows there is a path to victory. The next card I've got for you is the Two of Swords. So this indicates you need to form some sort of a partnership to deal with that. So look for a study buddy, a mentor, someone who can help you. And this is going to be a relationship of convenience. Don't look for it to be a friendship, but there is someone who can help you in this situation. And then finally, I've got the Nine of Swords. Now, this is the Ghastly Nightmare card. But what it means is it can only scare you if you let it. It really is not as bad as you think it is. And I'm going to draw one more.
And a Brian card.
Yes. The Prince of Pentacles. And this is talking about a young person who considers the situation and uses their resources wisely. So consider how best to organize your resources right now. You have so much studying to do. You have so much time you can devote to it. Work out a way to do it so it doesn't overwhelm you. There is a way to do it. And that's what the cards have for you.
The first card that I have drawn is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands represents being in a good situation, being able to make your garden grow, for want of a better way to put it. So you may feel like you're in over your head, or that you're struggling to keep up, but you're actually doing just fine. So I would say, try to step back from it emotionally and just do what you need to do, and you'll find that you're doing well. You're doing just fine. With it, we have the Prince of Coins, and for me, this is patience, and it's slow but steady growth. And it's saying, yeah, things might be going a little slowly. They might be seeming to be a bit of a slog, but they're moving. And finally, we have the Body. The Body says that the other thing you may want to consider in dealing with this, in addition to not letting yourself be overwhelmed by it and being patient with it, the other thing is to take good care of yourself and don't allow yourself to become overly frustrated, or do some self-care for yourself. And all of these things suggest to me that you're actually doing just fine. And I think the biggest thing I would say is don't worry about it. The worry is your biggest enemy. Now, the Escapee, which came out as I was shuffling, is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is good luck. It's the universe being on your side. And it's saying, everything's going to be fine here. I'm not suggesting that you be cavalier about it, but I think you'll find you're doing better than you think. You certainly will do better than you think. And everything is going to work out well. So as far as guidance goes, my main guidance would be to relax and just make sure you don't overwhelm yourself. And there we go.
So I hope that's helpful, Marianne.
And Lynn says, thank you for your readings. Thank you, Lynn. So, Mary, if people wanted to get a full-length reading, where would they go?
If people want to get a full-length reading from me or Reverend Don or Reverend Brian, you could go to divinationtv.com. and you can book a reading with any of us there.
And Marianne says, yes, my anxiety loves to kick in at the worst times. Thank you yet again.
You are very welcome, Marianne.
And again, I think that the anxiety is unnecessary and is itself the problem. So step back from it. Everything will be fine.
When I was returning to college and my best friend called me and I was freaking out over exams, she actually said, Mary, you make the dean's list every damn semester, so shut up.
There you go. Words to live by.
Yes. Like, okay.
And hello to Jazzrick Garman in the chat room. And Jazz says, wows, it's late. How much longer are you two going? Got time for one more? Yes, absolutely.
We certainly do. Do you have a specific question, Jazzrick, or do you just want a general reading?
And for people who are not familiar with Jazzrick, Jazzrick is the proprietor of Earth Spirit Emporium, a wonderful metaphysical shop, and you can follow their Facebook page. Generalize me.
You. All righty. Hey, Jade. Good to see you.
Hi, Jade.
Generalize me. I feel like that should be some sort of a meme. So Jazzrick is the owner of those 4 wonderful dogs I met.
Yes. Very sweet, very loving dogs. Children.
No, we're not dropping cards on the floor tonight. We are not.
And Jazz says, the Pekingese Party Pack.
I love it. They're absolutely adorable.
They are.
And they just meet you at the door and swarm you.
Yes.
Okay, Jazzrick. The first card I have for you is the 10 of Cups, also known as the Happy Family card. So, emotionally, things look great for you. Then I have from the Major Arcana, the Time card. And this card is talking about the cycles of time and how everything works in a cycle. So if things are going well right now, remember they may not always go well, and you might want to put something back for a rainy day. If they're not going well, things will get better. And then I've got the 9 of Cups for you. And this is the wish card, which means whatever you wish for, you will get. So think very carefully about your intentions right now, because if you are manifesting something really wonderful, it will happen. If you are doing the whole woe is me shtick, that's going to happen too.
You just pretend you're a Pekingese. Join the pack.
Yeah, if you are bouncing around like your wonderful pack of Pekingese, everything's going to come up roses.
So I have drawn the Prince of Swords. Prince of Swords says that in dealing with your situation, you need to have a good, healthy dose of selfishness. Make sure you're getting what you need from it. Make sure that you're covering what you need to cover. Don't worry about everybody else. Don't worry about everything else. Worry about yourself. Usually when this card comes up for me, the person is being too concerned with everyone else and not concerned enough with themselves. So a little healthy selfishness. With it is the Ten of Lamps. Ten of Lamps is metaphysical advancement. And I would say that you're already in a time when you can manifest quite easily or about to be in it. So focus on your manifestations. Focus on what it is you're creating. And do it with a good, healthy dose of selfishness. And it's followed by the King of Lamps, which is meditation and self-understanding. So on one hand, you want to use your manifestational ability to create what you want. And by that, I mean what you consciously want. And to focus on the good things. At the same time, you want to look inside yourself and make sure you actually know what you're manifesting, what you're hoping for, where your energies are going. If you do that, I think everything should work out quite well. And I'm going to draw one more card. And I've drawn the Six of Coins. And the Six of Coins is gaining help from another person, the universe, from something. And so I think you'll find that you will have what you need for whatever the situation you may be concerned with is, if you follow that basic outline. Be a Pekingese. But a little healthy selfishness, which every Pekingese has, and manifesting on the good things in life, on the belly rubs, and the pets, and all that good stuff.
Okay.
And then we have a question from Jade, who says that her stepson recently ended his life. We're very sorry to hear that, Jade.
Very sorry, Jade.
And her question is basically about the condition of his spirit at this time. Is he stuck? Is he with spirit? What is his circumstance? And there we go.
Okay. Jade, my heart breaks for you. I am so sorry.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Shall I go ahead and go first?
Yes.
The first card I have is the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands, as we spoke to earlier, is about waiting and patience. And one of the things that I will say as a medium, as a person who works with the ancestors and the spirits, is that when one crosses over, it does take a little while for the process to unfold. it's not uncommon to wait about a year before really expecting any sort of communication, for example, although that varies by individual. It's not always the case. But when the soul has crossed over, it has things that it needs to do. And so be patient. And where he is, I think, is a place of healing and a place of patience, a place of peace. With it is the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is the wish card. And given this question, I would say that this says that what you wish would be the case is the case. That he is in a good position, he is in a healing position, and I would not say that he is stuck. And then we have the King of Lamps, which is meditation. I would say that he's in a healing state, which is probably along the same lines of meditation. And in terms of working with his spirit, for example, it would be best to wait for that healing to be complete, but it is ongoing. And considering the circumstance, it's not surprising there would be a need for healing. The healing is happening, and the Nine of Cups is both the best card and the worst card in the deck. But given the nature of the question, I take it in its best sense. And I would say that he's in the best place that he can be and moving forward at the appropriate pace. And there you go.
Okay, Jade, and I'll just say this as a parent who has lost a child, there really is nothing else worse to deal with. There really isn't. I lost my daughter to disease, not suicide, but still. So the first card I have is the Eight of Pentacles. And since Pentacles is the material realm, my advice to you is right now, ground yourself. You need to, right this minute, focus on yourself in the material realm and work through your own grief. And help the rest of your family grieve, because all of you have to go through your grieving process. And that is important. And then the next card I drew is the Magus, which means you can manifest what you want. And like Reverend Don says, he is in a place of healing. While it's not the time for you to contact him, I think you could set up a healing altar for him.
Mm-hmm.
And send healing energy and loving energy to him. And then the final card I got for you is the Star, which shows someone undertaking some sort of astral or spiritual travel. So when the time is right, and you will know when the time is right, you will be able to contact him. It's not going to be immediate, but you will know when. But take it one day at a time. And I certainly hope that is helpful.
Now we want to say hello to Sandeep Sheel in the chat room.
And also to Fluffy.
Yes.
And
Fluffy has a question. So Fluffy says, am I doing the right sort of things in regard to my purpose? I reached out to 4 different people last week and I got the death card each time. How festive. Shall we draw some cards for Fluffy?
We can draw some cards for Fluffy. Well, you are doing the right thing, Fluffy.
Coming to us is always the right thing.
You wanted to start something new and you got the card of change.
Well, I don't have the death card. Shall I go forward?
Yeah.
First card I have drawn is the Princess of Coins. The Princess of Coins is a card that says everything that you need for what you want is there. And yet you may be holding back from it for some reason. I used to compare this card to someone who's looking out the window at the beautiful day outside, but does not leave their home. So the question becomes, if you're holding back, why are you holding back? And there's some aspect that is. So a little meditation on that subject will be beneficial. With it, we have the Princess of Lamps, which is the ability to use your magical and psychic abilities to improve your life. And the Three of Cups, which is celebration with others. And so what I would say is that to some extent, as soon as you're ready to let go and flow with it, you'll find that not only will these issues about your purpose move forward, they'll move forward quite quickly. The only thing holding it back is that part of you is not quite ready. And let me draw one last card. I've drawn the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups suggests to me that, again, you may want to look at your inner self and what might be holding you back. A little meditation, maybe a little focus. And that is the only real problem. Everything else is there. And there you go.
Alrighty. Well, the first card I've got for you, Fluffy, is the Six of Pentacles, which is suggesting you might need to get some help from someone else. Then I've got the Queen of Swords, which says that you need to look as what has worked in previous situations and what didn't work, and consider that as you move forward. And then I've got the Ace of Swords that says move forward. Fluffy, quit overthinking it and do it, bro.
So both Jade and Marcy, hello to Marcy, want to say they love your hat.
Thank you, Jade and Marcy.
And Jason says, thank you, Lord Don. I know just what the limitation is. I just don't want to leave the house. Which, of course, is exactly what I said. Looking out at the park, not leaving the house.
Fluffy, open the door and walk out the door.
Fling yourself through it. It'll be more fun.
Really, it will. Go do it. Okay, we've done Fluffy, and next Felicia has asked for a general reading. And then Sandeep has asked for a general reading. and then we'll be caught up.
And Fluffy says, okay, let's just hope there's no traffic. Well, where's the fun in that? It's dodging the cars that makes it all worthwhile.
And that's why you wear a big hat, so you'll be seen. Or a white hat if you're Reverend Don.
Yes. And now I have the flying nun stuck in my head, except as a wolf.
We're witches. We should have flying brooms, not flying hats.
Whatever gets you through.
Okay, Felicia, the first card I've got for you is the Two of Wands. And here we see someone looking at a city in the distance. So you're thinking about some sort of future enterprise. We've got the Four of Lamps, lamps being the suit of spirituality, magic. And with the Four of Lamps, we also have someone who's beginning to realize they need to deepen their practice in some way. And then we're back to Wands. And with the Three of Wands, this is talks about moving forward with the help of someone else. So I would say overall, you are looking about making a change in your life, and you need to find a mentor, or a mentor is going to appear to help you with that. So I hope you find that helpful.
Yes, indeed. And I had an escapee in the form of the Hierophant. And the Hierophant represents spiritual communication. And so I would say that it's very important for you at this time to be paying attention to your higher self, your spirit guides or patron deities, whatever your higher power may be. Be paying attention to its messages, to where it will incline to lead you. That also means pay attention to your hunches and intuitions, to signs and omens. Pay attention to spirit. Then we have the Prince of Wands. The Prince of Wands says that it would be very helpful to focus more at this time. You may be finding yourself distracted or otherwise dissipated by many things happening around you. The more you can focus, the happier you will be. You have the Four of Wands, which is achievement and success. So I think you're going to find that you're actually, in a worldly sense, in or about to be in a really good position. But it's followed by the Five of Lamps. The Five of Lamps says, well, yes, that's true. Everything around you is great. But there's part of you that really wants cleansing and renewal and new beginning in a spiritual sense. And again, I would say, listen to the guidance of spirit, and work with your spiritual life. Everything in the physical looks good to me. But this card represents seeking purification, seeking renewal, seeking direction. And that will come to you through spirit. Open yourself to spirit. And that's what I would say. And there you go. As far
Oh,
as physical things go, they're great.
okay, and before we get on to Sandeep's reading, I do want to mention a book that's coming out from Corellian Publishing in October. The Witch Wars Defense Manual Part 2 by Ed the Pagan Hubbard. This is the second part of his book. The first Witch Wars manual came out in the early 2000s. And he is revisiting the same topics, talking about how to deal with character assassination, being drawn into conflict. He'll be drawing on the recent conflicts with the Corellian succession crisis of last summer. And that will be released in October, and it will be up for pre-order soon. So please be watching CorellianPublishing.com for that. And once it's available for pre-order, we will be announcing it on all our broadcasts. So we're looking forward to that.
Actually, it's already available for pre-order.
Oh, it is.
It
I
is.
missed that.
Nope, it's up there.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here to correct me. All right. Well, go pre-order it then.
Yes. Find out all the juicy details in the sequel to the most infamous pagan book ever written.
All right. And now we need to do a general reading for Sandeep.
We want to say hello to Dreamtime Tarot.
Yes, hi, Dreamtime. Good to see you. And Jade thinks we should do a reading on my hat. I don't think the hat needs a reading.
Maybe she meant to use it as the reading surface. Literally, do a reading on your hat.
Okay, we will do a reading for Dreamtime after we do one for Sandeep. Okay, Sandeep, the first card I've got for you is the Six of Cups. And this is suggesting you might be reconnecting with an old friend or possibly an old romantic interest. Then I have the Prince of Lamps. Lamps has to do with our spirituality. And the Prince is talking about taking what you have learned and applying it in your physical life. And then finally, I've got Judgment. So Judgment is talking about reaping the rewards of something you have been working on. There's a project that's coming to the end, and you're about to get what you have been working towards. So I hope you find that helpful.
I have 3 cards for Sandeep, and every one of them is an escapee.
Wow.
The first one is Temperance. Temperance is creating new things from old things, and it says that what Sandeep is going to find themselves working on in the immediate future, meaning the next few months, may seem like it's creating new things, but it's building on things that are already there. It's not creation from scratch. It's rebuilding, reforming, transforming situations. With it is the Four of Swords. Four of Swords can be a rest period. It can be a stepping back. And you may find that in doing that, You may step back from some of the things that might distract you from it in particular, or it may be saying that you want to be careful of two competing drives. One is to do that transformation and the other is to stand back. And that's what I'm going to say it means. And we have the Ace of Swords, which says you must make your decision. Are you going to build new things out of old things, or are you just going to step back and rest for the moment? And then I drew a card, and I drew the Princess of Coins, which says to me, leave the house. Go forward and build those new things out of old things. Transform the things around you, transform the things that you want to do, even though part of you may just want to rest. Part of you would like to save it for tomorrow. Don't do it now. And that's what I got.
So I hope that is helpful for you, Cindy. And then we're going to do a reading for Dreamtime, who says they are having issues with their sweet dog and need guidance, and finances might be an issue. Okay, so the first card I've got is the Seven of Wands, which indicates the need for careful planning. Then the card after that is I've got the Queen of Wands, which indicates being in a good position. You're able to do what you need to do in the situation. And then finally, I've got the 10 of Pentacles, which indicates you have what you need in the material realm. So I think with some careful planning, you're going to be able to move forward and take care of your dog. So look around for resources is the best advice I've got for you. Maybe there are programs that can help you. See what needs to be done. Talk to your vet. Maybe look for options. But I think you can find a way to take care of what needs to happen.
And I have drawn the Magus, the Magician, which is the ability to work your will in the situation. So it says you can have what you want, and you may want to manifest or work magic toward what you want. You don't simply leave things to happen on their own. Focus the energy in the direction you want it to go. The Three of Swords says there will be changes because of this. Expect changes because of this. But all the other cards are positive, so those changes can be managed. And then we have the Soul. And the Soul says that everything that is happening here has a spiritual significance. So make sure that you're in touch with your higher self, work with your meditation, work with your magic. But overall positive cards, understand there will be changes. I would not expect a sudden change necessarily. And then Temperance fell out of the deck again. And Temperance again is creating new things out of old things. And what I would take that to mean is that everything you need is there, but you need to use it in a different way than you're accustomed to. So in terms of caring for the dog, I would say that you'll find that you have everything that you need, but you may have to change how you're using it or how you're accustomed to it. And there will be changes certainly that need to be made in order to deal with the situation. And there you go.
All right. And we are almost at the top of the hour. And we've answered all the questions. I think we're going to wrap up here. And will you close us out with a prayer, please?
I will. And Dreamtime says, thank you both so much. Thank you, Dreamtime.
You're very welcome.
Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives. And at this time in particular, we thank you for giving us so many ways to bring your guidance into our lives, so many ways to consult with you and to hear your words and your wisdom, whether by working with meditation and our higher selves, or through divination, or through magic. There are 1,000 roads to bring us the knowledge we need, and we thank you for the existence of those roads. We rejoice in this walk we walk together, and knowing you are always with us, still from respect. We thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I'll be back next week for another edition of Tarot Thursday, and blessed be everyone.